When it comes time to scale your SaaS company, influencer marketing can be a fast and easy way to acquire more users, build brand trust, and reduce the friction in your sales process. What is up, everyone? Today, we're going to go through everything you need to know about SaaS influencer marketing. We're going to go through the benefits of influencer marketing for SaaS companies specifically and why it's important. We'll go through what to expect to pay when doing SaaS influencer marketing, and then we'll go through some tips for a successful SaaS influencer marketing campaign. All right. First of all, why SaaS companies should use influencer marketing. The number one reason is SaaS products are intangible, meaning a user can't go to the store and hold your product in their hands. They can't really see what it feels like to use the product. The closest they can really get is something like a free trial or a product walkthrough. And a product walkthrough is a little bit lower friction than something like a free trial where they have to put their email address in or maybe even a credit card. Using influencer marketing is a great way to have content produced that shows a potential customer or user what it's like to use your SaaS product. Number two is targeted reach. Influencers tend to have a really well-defined audience based on specific interests. An example might be productivity or marketing or entrepreneurship or law or anything like that. So you can use these influencers and you can get really, really targeted with your marketing efforts. So those are two really important reasons to use influencer marketing for your SaaS. And there's three major goals that you can accomplish with the influencer marketing. One is reach and acquisition. So you'll reach new markets, hopefully acquire users directly from those campaigns. Number two is the trust and brand building that comes with an influencer marketing campaign. Influencers tend to carry significantly more trust than things like running a Google Ads campaign or anything else that people know are kind of paid for advertising type mechanisms of marketing. So you get a whole lot of brand trust with an influencer marketing campaign. Those influencers tend to also have pretty loyal audiences that follow their content on a regular basis. So when they see an influencer that they like and trust talking about a product, even if they know it's sponsored, there is quite a bit of trust and loyalty that you'll develop with those audiences as well. Third one is middle funnel friction reduction, which is a really underrated one in my opinion and a really powerful one. So when prospects are doing their due diligence, typically your product is up against a couple others. And when they're doing their due diligence, they are usually going to watch at least two pieces of content about it. So it might be YouTube videos if they're into a video form content, might be things like blog reviews. Basically having influencer marketing content produced gives a place for these prospects to go and watch a video, get their kind of like eyes on the product, things like that, and ultimately reduces the amount of work your sales team or website or marketing materials have to do to actually get them to convert. So it's really good for getting them from this kind of like consideration phase to actual conversion, which is great. Let's go through a couple things to think about when it comes to what to expect for SaaS influencer marketing campaigns. It ranges by a few factors, as you might imagine, size being one of the most obvious ones. Influencers that have a larger reach, larger audience will cost more. They are providing more value to your company. They know that, which is why their prices will reflect that. So that's an obvious one. Reputation is another one. Influencers have different levels of reputation. Typically, some will kind of accept any sponsorship opportunity. They haven't really built as loyal or excited audiences, so they'll be a little bit less expensive to work with because there's not really this kind of like reputational damage that's potentially, not to say your product's going to damage the reputation, but any kind of sponsored content, they will sometimes look at that as being needed to do in moderation. So higher reputation, typically a little bit higher cost. And the third one is the platform that you're using for the influencer marketing campaign. So there's a couple different, obviously, platforms with social media content, YouTube videos, TikTok videos, tweets, Instagram posts, the list goes on. Long form video content is one of the most production intensive processes for influencers to make, meaning YouTube videos typically cost a lot more than something like a tweet, which is just kind of copy pasting text sometimes. So the longer it takes the influencer to make the content and distribute it, the more it's going to cost you. Let's give an actual breakdown as far as what you can expect, because it ranges again on quite a few factors. On the really higher end of things, I won't go into the the mega influencers, the major pop culture icons, because those aren't people that we're discussing for something like this. But I will discuss the more realistic large influencers, the ones in the million plus subscriber range on YouTube, for example. Or as far as what you can expect to pay. Again, depending on the type of content, something like a YouTube video, which is again the most expensive, you can probably expect to pay anywhere between like $15,000 to $40,000 in some cases. It can be quite expensive, but again, you do get quite a bit of basically immediate brand lift to your company. The same size influencers for something like more short form, like a tweet, maybe 5,000 to 10,000. It really ranges, but that's a good place to at least like kind of frame your mind. On the other end of that, the smaller influencer, you're talking about a few hundred to maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000, much more affordable, much more approachable. And again, something like a TikTok video or a tweet or an Instagram post that's like static rather than video will be less expensive. So you can expect, a few $100s. Most campaigns that are doing influencer marketing on the smaller side will bundle a lot of them rather than just do one or two. influencers, it's just not enough data to really make a difference. You'll often see large campaigns with a lot of small influencers. Some tips for a successful SaaS influencer marketing campaign. Number one is using a brand aligned audience, an influencer. Tons of influencers obviously around. Finding one that really embodies the brand that you're trying to portray is important. It's a piece of your marketing, just like the website that you create needs to have the right branding, or the copy in your website or tweets. Influencer marketing is no different. Use an influencer that you feel is at least somewhat brand aligned. Go through different size influencer campaigns for different goals. So really large influencers and really small and mid-sized influencers accomplish different things. And it's important to kind of understand what the goals are of your influencer marketing campaign before you actually go and choose the influencers to work with. Really large influencers tend to work more on the level of building trust and then acquiring users directly from that campaign, whereas small and medium influencers tend to be better for that kind of like middle funnel sales process friction reduction, because they're less expensive to work with, but they still make really good content. So I would use the smaller and mid-sized influencers, less of like we're going to build trust and less we're going to acquire 1 million users right off this video, and more of this is something that when someone's figuring out if they want to use our product or not, they're going to go watch this. It looks great. The content's produced professionally, and that's the goal that I'm trying to accomplish there. So again, a couple different routes to go there. And that really wraps it up. There's obviously a huge amount of information that goes into SaaS influencer marketing. It's a really powerful strategy when done correctly. It can be really helpful as part of just kind of more kind of like complete marketing plan, and definitely something, in my opinion, you should prioritize as soon as basically you're out of the MVP phase and have something to show, really influencers to show with their content. It could be a costly investment, as you see from the really high influencer side, especially with YouTube videos, but the content that you make on like a YouTube video, for example, it sticks around forever. It's not like a tweet that you're getting kind of like 24, 48 hours of. A good YouTube video is always up for years and years and years. Last thing, if you find content like this helpful, make sure to hit subscribe. We try to put out videos like this about once a week. It will make sure that you get notified when we do put out a new one, and when we put out more lessons on how to grow SaaS companies. So that's it, and we'll catch you on the next one.